Welcome to Knowledge Nuggets. I bet you didn't know this about airplane etiquette. Did you know that 1 in 5 passengers admit to taking off their shoes during a flight? That's right, 20% of flyers are letting their tootsies roam free at 30,000 feet. Can you imagine the smell? It's like a locker room with wings. But wait, there's more. Some people even go barefoot to the bathroom. The bathroom! On an airplane. That's like playing hopscotch in a petri dish. You might as well lick the floor while you're at it. And here's the kicker. 3% of passengers confess to clipping their toenails mid-flight. That's not turbulence you're feeling, folks. It's the collective shudder of everyone else on board. Who needs in-flight entertainment when you've got a live pedicure show? So the next time you're on a plane and hear a suspicious clipping sound, just remember, what happens at 30,000 feet doesn't always stay at 30,000 feet. Sometimes it lands right in your lap, literally. Listen up, frequent flyers and once-in-a-blue-moon travelers. Airplane etiquette isn't just about being polite. It's about surviving a metal tube hurling through the sky without losing your mind. Or your lunch. Think about it. You're crammed into a space smaller than your average closet. For hours. With strangers, and limited oxygen. It's like a really boring version of Big Brother, but with more pretzels and less drama. Unless someone decides to break the unspoken rules of the sky. That's where etiquette comes in. It's the invisible force field that keeps us from turning into sky-high savages. Without it, we'd be living in a world of chaos. Imagine a plane where everyone reclined their seats at once. It'd be like human dominoes. So, next time you're tempted to ignore the flight attendant or use your tray table as a drum set, remember, we're all in this together. Literally. There's no escape at 30,000 feet, unless you've got a really good parachute and a death wish. All right, let's talk about the things you should never, ever do on a plane. Unless you want to become the star of the next viral video titled Passenger Gone Wild, Sky Edition. First up, loud phone conversations. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to hear about your cat's digestive issues or your Aunt Mildred's bunion surgery. Save it for the ground, people. The plane is not your personal phone booth. Next on the list, excessive drinking. Sure, those tiny bottles are cute, but downing them like they're shots at a frat party? Not so cute. Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens on a plane ends up on YouTube. And let's not forget the classic bringing smelly food on board. Your tuna sandwich might be delicious, but to everyone else, it's a nostril assault. The cabin is not your personal dining room. Leave the stinky stuff at home. Last but not least, hogging the armrest. It's not a game of musical chairs, folks. The person in the middle seat gets both armrests. It's the law of the sky. Break it at your own risk. Now, let's dive into the great reclining debate. To recline or not to recline, that is the question. And boy, is it a hot-button issue. It's like the airplane version of the toilet paper over or under argument. Here's the deal, your seat can recline. But should it? That's the real question. Sure, those 2 inches might feel like heaven to you, but to the person behind you, it's like being slowly crushed by a very polite avalanche. And let's talk about meal times. Nothing says bon appetit quite like having a tray table jammed into your sternum, right? Wrong. It's like trying to eat while doing the limbo. Not fun, not pretty, and definitely not recommended. So what's the solution? Communication, people. Talk to the person behind you. Make eye contact. Smile. Maybe even learn their name. Then, and only then, can you politely ask, "Mind if I recline a bit?" Who knows, you might make a new friend. Or at least avoid making a new enemy at 30,000 feet. Section 5. The Flight Attendant's Nightmare. Let's take a moment to appreciate the unsung heroes of the sky flight attendants. These brave souls deal with more drama than a soap opera, all while wearing uncomfortable shoes and a perma smile. They deserve a medal. Or at least a really good tip. First rule of Flight Club. Be nice to your flight attendants. They're not your personal butlers. They're there to keep you safe, not to fulfill your every whim. So when they ask you to put your seat up or stow your bag, just do it. Don't argue, don't pout, just comply. And for the love of all that is holy, don't press the call button for trivial things. It's not a toy, it's not a game, and it's definitely not a way to order a margarita mid-flight. Unless you're having a genuine emergency, keep your finger off that button. Remember, flight attendants have seen it all. They've dealt with drunk passengers, crying babies, and people who think the overhead bin is their personal closet. So cut them some slack. Be kind. And maybe, just maybe, they'll sneak you an extra bag of pretzels. Section 6. The Unbelievable Airplane Incident. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's time for the most outrageous, unbelievable, jaw-dropping airplane incident I've ever witnessed. This is the kind of story that makes you say, "No way," and "Why way?" at the same time. Picture this, a red-eye flight from LA to New York. Everyone's tired, cranky, and just wanting to catch some Z's. Suddenly, a commotion erupts in first class. A passenger has decided that his carry-on item is, wait for it, a live chicken. That's right, folks. A real live, clucking chicken. And not just any chicken. This was a prize-winning rooster named Colonel Sanders. I kid you not. The owner claimed it was his emotional support animal. Because nothing says emotional support like a bird that wakes you up at dawn. The flight attendants were beside themselves. The other passengers were in a state of disbelief. And Colonel Sanders? He was living his best life, strutting up and down the aisle like he owned the place. It was like a barnyard version of Snakes on a Plane. Section 7. Respect in the air. All right, let's bring it in for a landing, folks. We've laughed, we've cringed, we've maybe even learned a thing or two. But here's the bottom line. Respect is the name of the game when you're flying the friendly skies. Remember, we're all in this together. Literally. We're all trapped in a metal tube hurtling through the air at hundreds of miles per hour. It's not the time to start a turf war over armrests or engage in passive-aggressive seat reclining. Think of the plane as a tiny, flying community. You wouldn't blast your music at full volume in your neighborhood, right? If you would, we need to have a different conversation. The same rules apply in the air. Be considerate. Be kind. Be the passenger you'd want to sit next to. And hey, a little patience goes a long way. So what if the person in front of you reclined their seat? Take a deep breath. Count to 10. Maybe use the opportunity to practice your yoga. Airplane mode isn't just for your phone. It can be a state of mind. Section 8. Share your sky-high stories. Well, folks, we've reached our final destination. But the journey doesn't end here. Now it's your turn to spill the beans on your high-altitude adventures. Come on, don't be shy. We want to hear it all. The good, the bad, and the downright bizarre. Have you ever sat next to someone who treated the armrest like their personal kingdom? Or maybe you've witnessed a snoring symphony that could rival a freight train? Share your stories. It's like group therapy, but with more laughs and less crying. And hey, while you're at it, why not share your own airplane etiquette tips? Maybe you've discovered the secret to peacefully reclining your seat without starting World War III. Or perhaps you've mastered the art of gracefully exiting your window seat without stepping on anyone's toes, literally. Remember, folks, sharing is caring. And in this case, it might just save someone from committing a mile-high faux pas. So go ahead, hit that comment section harder than turbulence hits a drink cart. Let's make the friendly skies even friendlier, one hilarious story at a time.